Hello, grade 7s. Thanks for tuning in. This is just going to be a quick introduction tutorial video for SketchUp. So the first thing I want you to do is to click on the SketchUp icon on your desktop. Okay, now at the bottom of the window here, there's a word template. I want you to click on the arrow, and we're going to use a template for building our model, and we'll just use the one that says simple template meters. So make sure that's clicked, and then you can go to the bottom of the window here and click start using SketchUp. Alright, and now SketchUp will open, and the first thing you see is a very creepy woman with no face. Okay, just ignore her for right now. Now, before we can start introducing the tools, I want to make sure everyone has their tools open. So go to the top of the menu and click View. And then the first word you see is Toolbar. So click that and make sure that the large tool set box is checked. Mine's already checked, so I can just close it. So if you don't have that checked, make sure it's checked, and then your tools should show up just like mine. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Okay, now that everyone has their large tool set open, we can begin to learn some of the tools. Now you can see there's a blue, green, and a red axis. That's just showing you basically the directions of your 3D models, and when you start building them, they'll become really important. So let's start with a simple tool, the draw tools. Let's start with a rectangle. So I want you to come over to the side and click on the rectangle. Okay, now you can see that it's changed, the cursor's changed to a pencil with a little rectangle next to it. Now we'll go down somewhere near this woman's foot, and we'll left click on the mouse, and we'll drag with but still click down. You have to keep your finger pressed down on it. You can drag it and make a rectangle as big as you want. And you can see in the bottom right hand corner, it shows how big that rectangle is. It keeps changing as I drag it. I make it smaller, bigger. Okay, and while your finger is pushed down on this, you can actually change the dimensions of it by just typing the numbers in if you'd like. I could do 3 meters by 3 meters and hit enter, and my rectangle will automatically go to that size. Okay, now we've got one rectangle drawn. Okay, now this is just a flat shape. It's not very interesting. We'll show you how to make it into a 3D shape. Now this is where SketchUp gets really exciting. There's a tool on the side here called push pull. Okay, it's got a little box with an arrow coming out of it. I want you to click on that, and now slowly go over to the top of your rectangle. Just hover anywhere over it. You can see that when you hover over it, it changes colors. Okay, now click, and then move your mouse up, and you can now see that that rectangle is turning into a 3D shape. Now we'd like to make a little house for this woman, so we want to make it, well, at least taller than her, right? Okay, and I'll let go of the left click button, and I've made a 3D shape. Okay, I want you guys to try that right now. Okay, good job everyone, welcome back. Okay, now before we go on to making some more objects, I want to just take a moment here just to quickly go over some of the vocabulary. Now, when we click on the front of this 3D shape, it changes color. Now, this side is called a face. Okay? Now, it's selected because it's changed color. And if I want to move it, I could do that now, or if I wanted to change its size, I could do that as well. And it'll only have an effect on this one face because that's the only one that's selected. Okay? If I wanted to move this face, I had to click on it, and now it's selected. Okay? Now, you can also move just one of these lines, which are called an edge. if I click on it, just that one edge gets selected. Okay, now I can click on this edge and select it. Okay, oops, I double clicked on that one, so just click it once to select. Okay, click it once, select, click it once, select. Okay, click this face, select, click this face, select. Okay, so that's just how you can select different edges and faces on a shape. Okay, I want you to try that now. Okay, great. Now that you know how to select a face or an edge, I'll quickly show you how to select the whole object. So if I want to move this whole object, and I'd need to be able to select all of the faces and all of the edges on it. Now, a quick way to do that is just to triple click the left button. 1, 2, 3. And now all of the sides, all the faces, all the edges are selected. I can move the whole object. Now, to move it, we can go over to the side of the toolbar here, and you can click on the Move button. Okay, and just go somewhere on any of the faces or anywhere on the object, and you can move it up, down, to the side, back. Okay. It tells you too, like what axis you're moving it on. It says right now it says on red axis. So that means I'm moving it on the red axis. Okay, so it's going sideways along the red axis. Okay, and if I go up, back, now it's going on the green axis. Okay, so you can just play around with that a bit, moving objects if you want to move them a little bit. Okay. All right. I'll give you a few moments to just triple click, practice selecting the whole object, then go over to the Move button here and just try moving it around and playing around with it a little bit. Okay, great. Now that we know how to select the entire object, if you haven't done it or if it's not still selected, I want you to triple click it one more time so the whole object is selected. And let's say you don't want an object, you just want to get rid of it and start from scratch. When it's all selected, you can hit the delete button on your keyboard and get rid of it. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll try some of these other draw tools. Now, on the left side here, you've got a pencil to draw straight lines. You've got a circle to draw circles. You've got freehand, which is a little sensitive and hard to get around with, and then some other polygons and other shapes here as well. So I'll just draw a circle quickly. Okay, same, it'll go bigger and smaller depending on however you want it. Okay, and we'll try using the push-pull button again. So I'll pull up this circle, and now we've got a cylinder. Okay, it might be something you can use in your environment. Okay, all right, I'll do that again. Maybe I'll make a little bit of a bigger circle. Use the push-pull, pull it up. Okay, and make a big cylinder. Now, I can't quite see that one now because it's kind of out of view. So if you want to zoom in and zoom out, you can use the zoom button, which looks like a little magnifying glass, or you can use the scroll button on your mouse. So you can go out or in. Okay, it's really a quick way to do it. All right, so you can get a little bit of a bigger idea of what your whole environment looks like. Okay, let's give that a try now. Okay, now we know how to draw objects and how to push and pull them up and down, how to move them, how to select them, and how to delete them. And I just showed you how to zoom in and out. Now, another couple of handy tools here up at the top or on the side of your toolbar are the pan and rotate buttons. The pan is shaped like a little hand, and what that lets you do is, let me click on it, it lets you just sort of pan left and right, up and down, just to kind of get a little bit of a different perspective in your drawing. Okay, so it can come in handy. And then there is the tool next to it, which is called Orbit. This is a very handy tool. It lets you basically orbit the camera view all the way around. You can go under, you can go on top, you can go all the way around. This is especially handy when you want to work on different areas of your model. Okay, so I want to give you a few seconds to try the pan button, the hand-shaped one. Just panning left and right and up and down. Then click on the orbit button and just try orbiting around your model. Okay. All right, give that a try. Okay, welcome back. All right, now I want to actually just practice some of the tools that we've learned here, and let's try making like a simple house. So what I'll get you to do is to get rid of whatever you have on your screen. So if you made a couple of cylinders, just triple click on them, or click 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and hit delete. 1, 2, 3, delete, and then we can just get rid of this girl to delete. All right? Now we have a blank space, and well, let's make a simple house. So I'll go to my rectangle draw tool. Okay. Make a rectangle. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. And then I'll use my push-pull tool to bring it up and make it a 3D shape. Okay. All right. Now, I want to put a roof on this house. So an easy way to do it is, well, let me just adjust. I'll use the orbit tool so I can turn my picture up so I can see the roof of the house. Okay, so I can get a better view. That's the orbit tool. Okay, now I'm going to choose the pencil tool so I can draw a straight line on top of my roof. Now, I want to draw my line in the middle of this roof. And when you drag your cursor over the edge here, it'll actually say midpoint. So that's where I want to start. Now I'll pull it across to the other midpoint and click again. And now I have a line. Okay. Now I want to try to move this line up, but in this case we don't use the push-pull, we use the move button. Okay, and I can go over this line and move it up, move it up, move it up. I want to stay straight. Okay, on the blue axis, which is going straight up, so that's good. I want it to go straight up. Okay, and click. Now let me use the orbit button again just to see how that roof looks. Ooh, that's not too bad. Okay. All right. I want you to give that a try now. Okay, well, it takes a little bit of time to get used to moving edges around like that and getting it to look exactly the way you want. So don't worry if it doesn't look perfect. Now, next, let's try to put a door and some windows on our house here. So I'll go and select the rectangle tool again. And I'll go to the front of my house here and put a door. Okay. All right, so it doesn't look like a realistic door. So what you can do, and I'll teach you a new tool here, you can use a tool called the offset tool. Okay, it's over by push-pull here. Just drag over the little arrow in the half circle. It says offset. Click on that. Go over your door face, and then click. And you can see you're making this offset rectangle inside of your original rectangle. So I'm going to make it like that. Okay. Now I've got a smaller rectangle inside my bigger rectangle. Now this is where it can become cool. Now I can go to the push-pull button and I can push our door in a little bit if I want to. And then I can, this little rectangle frame around the door, I can pull out a little bit. Okay. All right. So it looks more like a realistic door frame. So why don't you give that a try now? Okay, now we have a nice door frame, so let's try to make our door a little bit more realistic. I'm just going to turn the house around a little bit here and zoom in to my door. Okay, and we need to make a little handle, so let's use the rectangle draw and a little rectangle here. Use push-pull to pull it out a bit. Doesn't really look like a handle, but okay. There we go. We have a little handle. And maybe we'll put a window, but we'll try a different shape. Let's try a two-point arc. Okay, so that's over here by our draw tools. I'm going to click here to here. And make an arc, and then use my straight line tool to draw across the arc, and maybe we'll draw another line here in the middle and push it in a little bit. There we go. Alright, now we have a little window in our door. Now, it's not much of a window, so because we can't see through it. So I'll quickly show you how to change the color of things. Okay, so at the top menu here or on the side, you can see the paint bucket tool. So let's click on that, and then a menu box will come up that shows the materials. So right now it's on, for me it's on metal, so I'm going to go scroll down here and see what we could use for a window. I see one that says translucent, which is clear. So I'm going to click on it and see what it says. This is glass. So I'm going to click on that and go over my window, click, click, and now it's a glass color. I can see into my house actually. Okay. While we're here, we can also choose something for the side of my house. We've got, let's see, stone. That might be nice on the front of the house. Let's try, well, maybe not. Let's try brick and cladding. Oh, that looks good. Let's make this a brick house. Ooh, wow. And I have to turn my house around so I can get every side. This is good practice of using your orbit tool. Zoom in and zoom out. Okay. Okay, and I have one more wall on this side, so let me turn this around one more time. And click. Okay. All right. Well, it's a brick house, isn't it? Okay, and while we're here, why don't we also choose something for our roof? And there's actually a roofing tab. I'll click on maybe this one here. Looks kind of, and I'll turn my house around and do the other side. Okay, so there we go. This is a really simple house. I haven't put my windows in yet, but I want you to give that a try. Put a window in your door. It doesn't have to be the same shape, but you can try the arc tool. And go to the paint bucket and try giving your house some color. All right? Okay, we're almost finished up. You've been introduced to the simple drawing tools on the side, as well as some of the tools for around your picture. There's a few more here on the side I'd like to show you. So the first is this one with 4 hours called the Move tool. To be able to use it, you have to make sure your whole object is selected. So you can triple click, or I'll show you another easy way to do this. When you've got the arrow selector, you can make a rectangle around this. And unclick and everything will be selected. So use whichever way is easier for you. Now that it's selected, I can click the Move button and go over my object anywhere and move it up, down, left, right. Okay. Now you have to remember it shows you when you're moving it on the red axis, so left to right or up, down. Okay. All right. The next tool I'd like to show you is the Rotate tool. This is under the Move tool. It could be used for just flipping something on its side, like this. Okay. Do that, but that's the Rotate tool. And the other tool that's very useful is the Scale tool here. Looks like a square with an arrow in the corner. This is used for changing the size of an object in your model. Now, the important thing to remember is when you want to change the size of the whole object, please click on one of the corners, the top or the bottom corners, and it will change the size of everything at the same time. Okay, this is called a uniform scale move. Okay, now look what happens if I don't do that. If I choose one of these other boxes, it'll just change the height. Okay, or maybe the width or something. It looks kind of funny. So make sure you click on one of the corners when you want to change the size of everything. All right, that's it for most of the tools here. I'll post another video with explanation how to use some of the more advanced tools here. So before we end, let's just finish off this house a bit. I think I will add 2 more windows on the front, a small one and a big one. So I use my rectangle tool, and then we'll use this offset button again. Remember, we can do that to put like a smaller rectangle inside, and it looks like a window frame. And then we'll use our push-pull to push that window in a bit. Not too much. Push it in a bit. Okay. And, well, it's a brick window now. We can't see through it. So let's change the color with our paint bucket. Before we use the translucent, and there's a glass color function here. Oh, there's a few different glasses. I think I'll just use this one here. Click on our window. Okay. And we'll also change the window frame. Maybe use some metal. Here we go. Oop, that doesn't look right. Let's go back and do that again. Maybe this one. There we go. And maybe I'll do my door frame the same. And I don't really like a white door. Well, maybe I'll change my door to wood as well, but a lighter wood. There we go. Okay, so that's basically the outside of the house. And just before I leave, I'll show you something really cool. We can go zoom really close into the house. And if we zoom right through the wall, we end up inside the house. Okay, so you can kind of see what it looks like inside the room. And we'll be maybe putting furniture in there later on and pictures on the wall. So that's something to get excited about. All right, thank you for watching.